Today is Monday, December 14, the 16th day of Advent. I'm Pastor Michael, and this is Wilderness Wanderings. Today our text comes from John 2. What Jesus did here in Cana of Galilee was the first of the signs through which he revealed his glory, and his disciples believed in him. John 2, verse 11. This Advent, we are focusing on Immanuel. During the first week, we looked at a variety of Old Testament stories in which God showed up on this earth. These gave us hints of what would happen when Jesus finally arrived. Last week, we meant to look at the nativity stories, but we ended up spending several days immersed in John 1:14. This week, we are going to head deeper into the Gospels to see what else there is regarding the theme of Immanuel in the life of Jesus. We're not going very far today. Reflecting on John 1:14 got me thinking about the wedding at Cana in chapter 2. There is significant mystery in this story. There is no mention of who the happy couple are, or why Jesus and his disciples and his mother are even there. There's no explanation as to why Jesus tells his mother it's not his time, but then does a miracle anyway. Everything focuses on the problem and its solution. The problem is that the wine has run out. This was simply not allowed. Hospitality was paramount in Jewish culture, and a wedding without wine, well, that was the worst of the worst. It would be the story of the town for generations to come. Remember when they would begin the story. But Jesus intervenes and provides an abundance of excellent wine. And I do mean an abundance. The 6 stone jars that are suddenly filled with wine have a combined capacity of over 700 liters. John tells us why he included this story in his gospel. It was the first of the signs through which Jesus revealed his glory. The glory of God's kingdom revealed in an abundance of wine? Is that wise, you might ask? Well, yes, it is. It says 2 things about God's kingdom. First, it is a kingdom of plenty. Many Christians in North America wonder if we ought to feel guilty about the abundance of wealth we possess, compared to most of the residents on this globe. It's good to ask such a question, but the answer is that we do not need to feel guilty. Everywhere in the Bible, God's kingdom is shown to be a kingdom of plenty. Guilt should not be our reaction to our wealth. Rather, a true understanding of God's kingdom causes us to become generous. If God has plenty, then we can share what we have because God can replenish our bank accounts. That, I think, is, at least in part, what Paul communicates in 2 Corinthians 8 and 9. It's worth the read. Now, the second thing the story tells us about God's kingdom is that it is characterized by joy. Years ago, I was walking alongside some colleagues who were struggling with their churches. They just couldn't get on the same page as the leadership, and it was painful to watch. I remember wondering if it was all right for me to be enjoying ministry so much, because I really was. Then a retired pastor told me it was permissible to enjoy ministry. He reminded me that the kingdom of God is one of joy. Jesus brought joy with him. The second Sunday of Advent was about joy. I think we should write it on our ornaments again, along with abundance. That these words fill us with longing for the fullness of God's kingdom. Many things in this life do not bring us joy, and at times they do seem overwhelming. Write joy and abundance on your ornament, and look forward. Our tears will be exchanged for dancing. It is the promise of God. As for something to do, how about sharing some of your resources with those who have less? Or maybe, when you receive a gift from someone, receive it with grace, recognizing that God is inviting you to enjoy a taste of his kingdom. And as you journey on, go with the blessing of God. May the peace of the Lord Christ go with you, wherever he may send you. May he guide you through the wilderness, protect you through the storm. May your day end with rejoicing at the wonders he has shown you. May you rest in his provision as he brings night, and then new dawn.